The Golden State Warriors continue their unbeaten run, finishing the preseason with a flawless 4-0 record, highlighted by a commanding 1-1-9-3 win over the Detroit Pistons. Even without Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins, this team has shown its depth and dominance. The key storyline here is the depth of the Warriors roster. This team, despite missing their biggest stars, has remained dominant, and that speaks volumes about the caliber of the squad. Against the Pistons, the Warriors didn't just win, they controlled the game from start to finish, leading by as much as 26 points and never trailing after the first few minutes. Now, we have to consider what that means in the broader context. If a team can go undefeated in the preseason, playing at such a high level, and yet their stars are missing, this is a problem for the rest of the league. Let's talk numbers. 6 Warriors scored in double figures in this game. Moses Moody led the way with 14 points, while Trayce Jackson-Davis added 12 points and 10 rebounds. The Warriors' shooting was also a standout, knocking down 18 of 39 shots from beyond the arc. That's a blistering 46.2% from deep without Steph Curry on the floor. This sharp shooting performance allowed them to stay ahead even when turnovers were an issue. They had 21 turnovers, a number that would typically derail a team's efforts. But the Warriors' ability to hit from long range, get to the free throw line, and capitalize on clean offensive opportunities more than made up for their mistakes. It's not just about the points or the win, it's the way the Warriors play. They outclassed the Pistons in every aspect of the game, from defense to offense, even without their stars. The pace, the spacing, and the execution were all signs of a team that has multiple layers of talent ready to step up when called upon. That's a terrifying prospect for the rest of the NBA. This is a team that can outshoot you, outrun you, and outplay you even with their second unit. It's the type of depth that Steve Kerr has said makes this one of the deepest teams he's ever coached. But how do they maintain this dominance? Who are the players stepping up in key roles? Let's look closer at one of the unsung heroes of this preseason run, Kevon Looney, who has redefined his role and is playing some of his best basketball yet. Kevon Looney is a player who has gone underappreciated for far too long, but this preseason is showing just how important he is to the Warriors. After years of injuries and inconsistency, Looney has spent this summer reimagining his role and rebuilding his body. The Warriors made a smart decision by fully guaranteeing his $8 million contract, and it's already paying off. In Sunday's game, Looney played with a level of intensity and purpose that we haven't seen in a while. He hit jumpers, finished strong at the rim, and was a defensive anchor when it mattered most. Looney's impact in just 13 minutes was staggering: 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He was everywhere. Looney's commitment to improving his conditioning has made a massive difference in his agility and ability to contribute on both ends of the floor. During the first quarter, he'd a 1-7-2 run that helped the Warriors take control of the game. He hit a 15-footer off a short roll shot we didn't see from him much last season and consistently made defensive plays to disrupt Detroit's offense. His block on Isaiah Stewart, followed by a strong finish on the other end, exemplified the two-way impact he can have. With Draymond Green likely to miss some time due to injury, Looney's role becomes even more critical. The Warriors need his presence next to Green in a big lineup, and based on what we've seen this preseason, he's ready to deliver. His improved mobility has allowed him to cover more ground on defense, switch on smaller players, and rotate more effectively. That's going to be huge for the Warriors in the regular season when they're up against teams with dynamic offenses. Looney is no longer just a role player, he's becoming a central piece to this Warrior system, and his contributions will be pivotal as they aim for another deep playoff run. Looney's transformation is crucial, but let's not overlook the young talent on this team. Jonathan Kuminga is another player who's making a case for a bigger role this season. Jonathan Kuminga continues to be one of the most fascinating players on the Warriors roster. A former 7th overall pick, Kuminga has the potential to be a star in this league, but his positional fit remains a question mark. Is he best suited as a small forward or a power forward in this Warriors lineup? On Sunday, he was nominally playing as a power forward in a small ball unit, but he played more like the small forward he's been his entire career. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Kuminga is shooting the ball with confidence this preseason, hitting 3 of 5 from deep against the Pistons, which brought his total three-point percentage to over 50% in the preseason. Kuminga's ability to stretch the floor is something that could unlock so many different lineups for the Warriors. He's taking clean, open looks off the catch and showing that he's comfortable firing from beyond the arc. We even saw him hit an off-the-dribble pull-up three-pointer against the Pistons, a shot that requires serious confidence and skill. This is exactly what the Warriors want from him. The team has empowered Kuminga to shoot when open, and he's delivering. But the dilemma remains, where does Kuminga fit best? Despite his shooting prowess, he grabbed only 2 rebounds in 23 minutes and struggled to keep players in front of him defensively. Defensively, Kuminga still has work to do. He's quick and athletic, but he needs to improve his positioning and awareness, especially when guarding quicker players on the perimeter. Even against a team like Detroit, which isn't exactly known for their offensive firepower, Kuminga had trouble containing drives to the basket. His rebounding, too, remains an area of concern. For someone with his physical tools, there's no reason why he shouldn't be grabbing more boards. But his perimeter shot is the biggest improvement, and if he can continue to develop his defense and rebounding, the Warriors will have a legitimate two-way player on their hands. Kuminga's growth is crucial for the Warriors' success. They need him to be more than just a shooter, they need him to be a complete player. His improvement is promising, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Now let's shift our focus to one of the breakout stars of the preseason, Trayce Jackson-Davis, whose defensive heroics have been crucial for the Warriors. Trayce Jackson-Davis has made a name for himself this preseason, showing that he can be a defensive anchor for the Warriors. At 6'10", he brings the size and shot blocking ability that the Warriors need to complement their small ball lineups. But his best moment of the preseason came in Sunday's game when he blocked Tobias Harris at the rim, then immediately swatted away Jalen Duren's putback attempt. That sequence led to a fast break that ended in a Brandon Podziemski three-pointer. This kind of defensive effort changes the game, it energizes the team, disrupts the opponent's rhythm, and leads to easy points on the other end. Jackson-Davis finished the game with 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. His ability to control the paint and protect the rim has been one of the highlights of the Warriors' preseason. What's even more impressive is how disciplined he's been defensively. He's not just chasing blocks, but he's altering shots, contesting without fouling, and making smart rotations. That kind of defensive IQ is rare for a player so young. And with the Warriors lacking depth in the front court, Jackson-Davis is positioning himself as a key contributor moving forward. But it's not just about defense. Jackson-Davis has also shown that he can score efficiently in the paint, finishing strong around the basket, and even stepping out for the occasional mid-range jumper. His offensive versatility complements his defensive prowess, making him a potential two-way threat for the Warriors. And let's not forget, this is a player who has been steadily growing into his role, both literally and figuratively. He's grown a quarter of an inch this offseason, now standing at 6'10", and his game is growing just as rapidly. Trayce Jackson-Davis' ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor will be crucial for the Warriors, especially as they look to balance their rotations and handle the physical demands of the regular season. But not everything went smoothly for Golden State, unfortunately. One of their brightest young stars, Brandon Podziemski, was sidelined due to an injury. Brandon Podziemski has been one of the standout players of the Warriors preseason, but his night came to an abrupt end after suffering a painful nose contusion. Podziemski had been playing well, scoring 12 points and adding 4 rebounds and 4 assists before he had to leave the game. His ability to shoot, pass, and rebound has made him a valuable asset in the Warriors' rotation. But after a collision with Trayce Jackson-Davis during a handoff attempt, Podziemski was forced to the bench and later ruled out for the rest of the night. The Warriors are being cautious with Podziemski, and that's the right move. He's been one of their most consistent performers this preseason, and they can't afford to risk further injury with the regular season just around the corner. Podziemski has been shooting 45.4% from the field and 38.5% from three-point range in preseason games, showcasing his ability to knock down shots and facilitate the offense. He's also been a solid rebounder and defender, making him a key piece of this Warriors second unit. His injury isn't expected to be serious, but it's a reminder of how fragile a team's depth can be. The Warriors will hope to have Podziemski back in action soon, as his presence will be crucial for maintaining the team's depth and versatility heading into the regular season. With the regular season just days away, the Warriors will need to stay healthy and focused as they prepare for their final 2 preseason games and the challenges ahead. With their final 2 preseason games coming up against the Los Angeles Lakers, the Warriors will have one last opportunity to fine-tune their rotations before the regular season begins. Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins are expected to return, giving the team a full complement of players to work with. But the preseason has shown us that the Warriors are ready to compete at the highest level, even without their stars. Their depth, shooting, and defense have been on full display, and they've sent a clear message to the rest of the league: this team is coming for another championship. The Warriors' regular season opener against the Portland Trail Blazers on October 23rd will be their first true test, but if their preseason is any indication, the Warriors are set to dominate once again. With a healthy roster, a deep bench, and the leadership of Steph Curry, the Warriors are poised to reclaim their spot at the top of the NBA. Golden State has shown us what they're capable of, and it's only just beginning. The NBA better be ready for what's coming.